Have you ever heard a breeze sing? If you listen very carefully, late at night when the world is still, you might notice a soft whistle brushing against your window or a gentle hum winding through the trees. And perhaps, just perhaps, you'll hear the little breeze I'm going to tell you about tonight. Her name was Brisa. She wasn't a grand and mighty wind that bent trees and roared across oceans. No, Brisa was small and playful. She loved to twirl through the grass on sunny afternoons, making the tall blades sway like green waves. She loved to lift dandelion seeds into the air and watch them drift like tiny white stars. And she especially loved to tumble through the laughter of children as they ran in the meadows, their arms outstretched to catch her. But deep in her breezy little heart, Brisa carried a wish. More than anything in the wide, wide sky, she wanted to sing. She listened every morning to the cheerful birds, filling the dawn with their bright notes. She admired the crickets in the evening, strumming their soft lullabies for the stars. Even the river had a melody, splashing and bubbling as it hurried along. But Brisa, when she tried to sing, could only make whoosh, shhh, whirl. Sounds, yes, but not music. Oh, if only I had a song, she sighed one twilight, drifting sadly across the quiet hills. If only I could make the world smile with music too. One golden afternoon, when the sky was painted with soft light and the air smelled of wildflowers, Brisa wandered into the little village nestled at the edge of her hills. She brushed over rooftops, tugged playfully at the laundry hanging on lines, and tapped lightly at the window panes. That was when she noticed it, a flute, resting on a windowsill, its polished wood gleaming in the sun. Curious, Brisa leaned closer. She swirled around it, slipped past the holes, and gave a tiny puff. Phew! A clear, sweet note rang out. Brisa gasped. Was that me? She tried again. Fui, fui. Fui. The flute sang back with every breath. Children inside the little house pressed their faces to the window, wide-eyed with wonder, as the breeze outside filled their home with music they had never heard before. Brisa twirled in delight. For the very first time, she had made music. She had sung. From that night onward, she began to practice everywhere she went. Along the riverbank, she whistled through hollow reeds, making a tune as soft as whispers. On the shore, she hummed through seashells, and they answered her with long, echoing tones. In the meadow, she discovered that spiderwebs could twang like harp strings if she brushed across them just so. The spiders chuckled kindly and called it the breeze's harp. Each day brought new discoveries. Each night, her music grew stronger, and the world began to notice. The tall pines swayed joyfully when Brisa sang among their needles. The rivers sparkled more brightly when her melody joined theirs. Birds tilted their heads and, little by little, began weaving their own songs into hers. The hills, once quiet, now danced with music, carried by the breeze who had found her voice. But not every night was easy. One evening, heavy clouds rolled in and covered the stars. The valley grew hushed and dark. Brisa tried to sing, but her voice sounded faint. She hurried to the windowsill, but the flute was gone. She drifted to the reeds by the river, but the water drowned her song. Even the spider's harp was gone, washed away by the storm. Brisa curled beneath the branches of an old oak tree and whispered sadly, "Perhaps I was wrong. Perhaps I have no song at all. Without the flute, without the reeds, without the shells, I am only a breeze." The oak tree bent its wise old branches and spoke in a voice that rustled like deep leaves. "Little breeze, do not cry. Your voice was never lost. It was always inside you." Brisa lifted her head. "Inside me?" "Yes," the oak whispered. "Music does not only live in instruments. Music lives in hearts. Even the smallest breeze has a song to share." Brisa closed her eyes. She listened, not to the reeds, not to the shells, not to the trees, but to the soft pulse of her own being. And then, gently, she began to move. She swirled not through flutes or webs, but through the sky itself. Whoosh, fui, hu. The sound rose, clear and sweet. It was not borrowed from anything else. It was hers. Her very own voice, soft and beautiful. The clouds parted just a little, and a single star peeked out, twinkling as though to say, "Yes, that is your song." From that night onward, Brisa never doubted again. She still loved to play with flutes and reeds and seashells, but she knew now that her truest song was her own. Every evening, as twilight kissed the hills, she sang. Her gentle notes drifted into the village windows, soothing children as they fell asleep. Her melodies floated with the crickets, swirled with the owls, and rippled with the rivers. Even the stars seemed to shimmer in time with her lullabies. And so Brisa became more than just a playful breeze. She became the music of the night. And if you listen closely, very closely, you might hear her outside your window tonight, whistling softly, humming sweetly, reminding you that even the smallest voice carries a song worth sharing.